the use of subliminal messages is a form of media manipulation, and it is global. So yes, we get it here in Hollywood and in the United States and in the movies and in the music and in the music videos. We get it here in the magazines, but everyone gets it, including people in France.
Yeah.
And I will actually prove that in just a moment. I will prove that. I will use an example that I've been dealing with in terms of a particular brand that is, I believe, is based out of France. And I'll ask you to correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm sure you're familiar with the brand. But subliminals, interesting. Subliminals really, it's dealing with the subconscious mind. So we have a conscious mind and a conscious awareness, and that's when we're thinking critically and we're asking the question, who, what, where, why, and when. When we are thinking within our conscious mind, we're always trying to solve a problem or to identify an undefined element. So if there's if there's a problem in our life, ultimately we first try to solve the problem with our intellect, meaning our conscious mind. Also, if there are things that are undefined or that we have not defined in our lives, we use our conscious mind to be able to define it. And that's when we ask question, what is it? How does it work? What does it do? Okay, so that's the conscious mind. And then we have the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is very much different than the conscious mind. And the subconscious mind deals in the level of awareness that is below what we call, there's a line, below the normal auditory and visual perception of the human being. Now, the normal auditory and visual perception of the human being is the conscious mind. It's our conscious awareness. Anything below that, you're dealing with the subconscious mind. Anything below that, you're dealing with subliminal messages. Okay. Now, I have a video on YouTube titled "The Truth About Subliminal Messages: How to Protect Your Subconscious Mind," and I would encourage anyone who hears this to take some time to view that video. It explains all of this, the aspects of human psychology, the conscious mind, subconscious mind. Now, this conscious mind, it operates linearly, point A to point B. It also is aware of time, past, present, and future. The subconscious mind, however, it does not operate linearly. It operates on cycles, and it is not aware of past, present, or future. It perceives everything to be taking place right now. Now, subliminal, when we talk about subliminal messages, a subliminal message, let's look at message. Message is some form of communication that is exchanged from one person to the next. And that whatever that message is, that information is going to impact the person who receives it. It may impact them in a positive way. It may impact them in a negative way. So that is a message. It's something that you communicate to something else or to someone else. Subliminal is dealing with the subconscious mind. And here is why. Sub, it implies below. Okay, so that's why they say submarine. It's a submarine. That's a ship out at sea, but it's submarine. That means that it's below the marine layer. It's below the water. It's submarine, right? So whenever you see a substitute teacher, as another example.
Yeah.
You go to class and you have a substitute teacher. That substitute teacher is really under your official teacher. They're sub, okay? They're not the official teacher, which is above. They're a substitute, okay? So sub always implies something that is below. So now if you say a subliminal, a liminal is simply a line that is drawn in sand that marks the difference between what is conscious and what is subconscious. See, subconscious, there's that sub again. You have the conscious mind, and then you have the subconscious. Sub implies below. That line, there's a line that distinguishes the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. That line is called liminal. That's what it means. It means a line. It's a line of demarcation. How you distinguish between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, it's like a circle. Just look at a circle. You draw a line in the middle of the circle, straight through the middle, horizontally. What's above is the conscious mind. What's below? It's the subconscious mind. It's below. Now, that line is the liminal. And so, therefore, a subliminal means anything below that line of normal auditory or visual perception of the human being, meaning our conscious awareness. Okay, again, I talk about all of this inside that video series for anyone who's listening to this. Now, therefore, a subliminal message is a message that is given to someone that is not directed at their conscious mind. It's directed at their subconscious mind. That's why it's called a subliminal message. And that's why most people are not aware of them. They're not aware of them consciously because subliminal messages are not designed to be interpreted by by the conscious mind. Now, we can make a choice to analyze them consciously. Excuse me. The subliminal messages are not designed to be perceived by our conscious mind. They are designed to be interpreted by the subconscious mind. And that's precisely why most people are oblivious to them consciously. They don't see them. Or they may say, oh, that doesn't happen here in France. It only happens in the United States. No, it happens everywhere. It's just that a person is not consciously aware of them, and they're all around. They're used all the time, especially in advertising. And the idea is that if you can give someone a message that is below their normal auditory and visual perception, in other words, you give them a message and they don't even see it consciously, they don't hear it, they don't interpret it consciously, you can give them a message to their subconscious mind. The subconscious mind can therefore influence a person's behavior without them even knowing it. In other words, if I give someone a message subconsciously, go and eat this particular meal, go and buy this particular product, and their conscious mind is unaware of it, their subconscious mind will influence their behavior, and they may go buy the meal, and they may not even like the meal. They may not even like the food, but they go do it anyway because it's subconscious manipulation. They're not consciously aware. Now, here's an example, because I've been doing a lot of research and analysis of particular advertisers that have particular types of products and how particular products are being sold to people by sexualizing these products. In other words, you make a product, you sexualize it. You know, it may be something that has nothing to do with a woman who's, has her cleavage showing and has on a bikini and, has nothing to do with that. It's a product it's a book. Why is there a book? But the book, there's a naked lady holding the book. It has nothing to do. Well, that's subliminal and subconscious manipulation, because what it's doing is sexualizing this book. And as a consequence, it's a subliminal message that is being interpreted by the subconscious mind, because consciously it doesn't make any sense. But on the subconscious mind, what it does is it makes associations between things. See, the conscious mind, what it does is it distinguishes between things. It says that's that and this is this. The subconscious mind says that is that and that is everything. So if you see a book that's being sold and there's a woman who's half naked or what have you, she has on a bikini, the subconscious mind says, wait a minute, that book is the woman and the woman is the book. Oh, now as man, I'm going to buy that book. Because when I buy this book, I'm also buying the woman. No, you're not. See, the subconscious programming, that is interpreted by the subconscious mind because of the subliminal, which is really blatant, but it's subliminal. It's impacting their behavior. And they're not even consciously aware of it. They go out and buy something thinking that they're going to get the woman too. Oh, you don't get the woman, just get the book. Now, there is a brand, it's a male hygiene brand, if you will. It's like deodorants, body sprays, and it's called the Axe brand. Have you heard of the Axe brand?
Yeah, we do have it in France as well. Same Axe.
So you have. Yes. Now in Europe, it's also called, it's given another name. I can't think of the name right now, but I'm sure people are familiar with the Axe brand.
I know in Australia it's called Lynx, but in France yes, it is called Axe.
Yes. Okay. So anyone who's listening to this, it's called Lynx, or it will be called Axe. Now the Axe brand, they are well known for manipulating people's perceptions about their products simply by sexualizing their products. And so, there was one commercial. Here's an example of subliminal message. There's one commercial where this guy, he's on a deserted island and is out at sea. There's no one else around. He's there by himself. And he has some Axe body spray or Axe deodorant. And what he does is he takes the deodorant and he applies it to his underarm. And as soon as he applies it to his underarm, you see all of these women from all around the world, they start perking up, and they start getting excited, and then they start running. All these women, different women, and they all have on bikinis too, by the way. So here we go. Sexualizing women to sell the product. They all have on bikinis, and they start running all over the world. Different colors, different complexions, different ethnicities, probably different languages, everything. Then they all start jumping into the ocean. And then they all start to swim towards this island, this deserted island in the middle of the ocean where this man just put on this Axe cologne. And what are they saying? What they're saying is that if you put on, it doesn't matter where you are on the planet, if you put this deodorant on, women are going to flock to you in mass. And this is precisely what happens in the commercial. All the women, they swim for thousands and thousands of miles. They get to the island, they come up on shore, they all have on bikinis, they all start to run towards this man. And the idea is that now this man, he can have sex with all these different women from all around the world, because because he put on this. See, this is programming that everyone is getting. People in the United States of America, people, in point of fact, the Axe brand, I don't even believe, I believe that it is a European company. There are people in France who are getting this programming. There are people in the UK, all around. There's people here in the United States of America, all over the world getting this programming. This is another example of subliminal messages. See, because what happens is the subconscious mind makes an association, therefore, between the Axe brand deodorant, underarm deodorant, or body spray with sex.
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason you can get your hands on the deodorant, you will gain access to an enormous amount of women who have on bikinis and who are voluptuous and are so-called beautiful, and you can have sex with all of them. See, that's subliminal manipulation. That's subconscious programming, and we get it all over the place. Anytime, for those of y'all who are in France, anytime you open up a magazine and you see a product and you see a woman who is half dressed and she has nothing to do with the product, you are receiving subliminal manipulation, subliminal messages, because your subconscious mind will associate that product with this woman, and it associates the products with sex, even though it has nothing to do. And for you women who may be in France, you may see a magazine or a movie or a television show where there's a particular product and the woman is dressed in a particular way, the objectification of the woman and the sexualization of the woman. And on a subliminal level, on a subconscious level, you may begin to think in your mind, you know what, I have to have that product, because if I have that product, I'll look like her. Mm. You see? Or here's another way. And here's another way it may be interpreted on the subconscious level. The subliminal message, the woman may see the message, and they may see this woman who is attractive, and the product may be for men. And so what the woman may say is, look, you know, I'm going to have to purchase that product for my husband so he will see me in the same way as this sexy woman. Another example is cigarettes. Most people smoke cigarettes not because it's healthy or because it tastes good or that it smells good. Most people, they smoke cigarettes because on some level they had some degree of media manipulation. See, there was a whole campaign around cigarettes. We're getting into Edward Bernays and all of his programming that totally shifted people's mentality and impacted people's behaviors as it related to smoking cigarettes. And we can also look at alcohol. The same thing applies. There are a lot of things that people do that are completely unhealthy. And if they thought about it consciously, they would say, why am I doing this? Again, we're talking about the conscious mind, where you distinguish, you ask the question, why, what, where, why, when, how, right? Consciously, you can say, why am I doing this? But most people, they don't do these things consciously. It's subconscious. They receive the program. There was this whole propaganda campaign where, in the movies, in Hollywood movies, in point of fact, whoever the star was, the handsome hero, he always had a cigarette in his mouth. Right. In the advertisements, they would always have a man who had the cigarettes, and he would always have a lot of women around him who were beautiful. You see, so the programming was being issued. Many different techniques were used in order to get people to begin to associate on a subconscious level, again, subliminal messages, associate on a subconscious level, smoking cigarettes with being attractive, smoking cigarettes with being sexy, smoking cigarettes with somehow being successful in life. But in point of fact, smoking cigarettes doesn't do anything for anyone. It just damages their health. And we have to ask the question, then why do people do it? Well, in the first place, most people do it because they received some level of manipulation. That was, they saw advertisements many, many years ago, or even current advertisements in terms of cigarettes, or they were influenced by someone else who saw manipulation and was impacted by the manipulation, and they felt as if they had to do the same thing as that person in order to be part of their, be part of their life experience. I have to do what you're doing, peer pressure, so forth and so on. But the question is it a conscious choice? No, it's a subconscious influencing of a person's behavior. And that's how you in behavior modification. The deeper part of this is that the behavior modification, most people are consciously speaking, they are completely oblivious to it. In other words, they do not even know that it's taking place. And that's why in France, there are people who will say there are no subliminal messages. It's global. So anytime you open up a magazine, anytime you watch a commercial and there's a woman who's half dressed or what have you, you're being manipulated, because what it's doing for you men in particular, what it's doing is it's stimulating you on a subconscious level, stimulating your sexuality to where you associate that product with sex. That's media manipulation. That's a subliminal message. Now in your subconscious mind, you say, if I buy that product, if I use that product, more women are going to be attracted to me and I'm going to be able to have more sex. It's globalized everywhere. Everyone gets it.